All right, I have the Marine Corps floodlight set, or FLS, set up here, and this video is going to be going over changing the oil filter, fuel filter, which is also the fuel water separator, and the air filter. This particular one is mounted on the, let's see if I can remember this acronym, LTT-MCC, Light Tactical Trailer Marine Corps chassis. It's not going to really be about what the floodlight set does and all that. If you want a separate video on that, leave a comment. I've already set it up. I already know it works 100%. This particular one was actually issued to the Navy. It's got a little bit of corrosion and stuff all over it, but it's not terrible. Very dusty, dirty, grimy on the inside. So we're going to clean it up and just get it fully ready for service in this video. So everything you need to get at for service is going to be here on this side where the control panel is. There should be a little prop on there to lock this up so it won't fall on your grape. And I already got all my filters and stuff stowed away in here. I use Wix for everything. Your air filter, links to all this stuff I'll put in the description, so you can just click on it and buy it. Your air filter, 46449. Your fuel water separator / fuel filter is Whiskey Foxtrot 10027. Oil filter 51358. Then I went with Shell Rotella T4 10W30. When you look at the Marine Corps technical manual for this that was put out, it says use anything API 30. I'm no oil expert. I just know how to go, hey, tell me what you want to put in there, 10W30. When you put in API 30, I don't know, to me, at least my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments really quick, this is me getting sidetracked. It's talking about the 30 at the end here. I don't know, you can go with a 30 weight, a 5W, a 10W, 30. I always thought that this was like the cold, and that's what it ends up being when it's hot. I was just gonna put 15 in here, but what I did is this more or less is just a slightly changed around version of Magnum's regular light tower. That is the model number that's similar to it, which is the MLT 5060. So I looked up that manual. Strangely enough, the manual on that doesn't even say what type of oil to use. It only gives you the capacity, which the capacity, according to the technical manual, is 3.5 quarts. That's why I got a gallon. So just doing a bunch of searching for the engine, which is the Mitsubishi SL3, and there's a bunch of different subvariants. It just said 15W30, as you were 15W40, which is what I have for most of my diesel stuff, and a lot of applications is good, but a lot of people put 10W30 in these light towers. It says to use 10W30 in an Arctic application. I don't know, maybe y'all are smarter than me. I'm gonna put 10W30 in here and call it a day. It's certainly better than probably the 3-year-old oil that's in there that looks like it's tar. But anyway, the thing starts and runs, and it ran fine, believe it or not, even with the old fuel. I'm already rambling. Here's your parts, order them so you have it. First thing I'm gonna start with is the fuel stuff, because you wanna run it a little bit to get the oil warm so it'll drain out the drain tube. All right, over here with the fuel water separator, one thing that I want to include, and I'll zoom in on it really quick, there's some dashes and marks at the top. You can kind of see them right in the center of the camera. In the revised technical manual, I'm gonna put a little screenshot of it over here to the right. Those dashes mean something. I believe off the top of my head it's 2006, but you could read it for yourself. There was a revision made to this part. They started to phase out type of filter. The dashes being set up one way means one thing, and being set up another way means another thing. I wanted to talk about this as well. Here's the filter that came off the floodlight set, and here's the Wix filter. Had to do a little bit of research on this, and that's why I'm coming back to it to just show some clarification. Even though this is the current part number, it has just a regular rounded rib at the top, like it says the old filter has. You can see what I'm talking about more. Like right here, it's very pronounced, but there's kind of like a rib. The best answer that I could come up with was what Wix did is they were originally making them like this one, and then to avoid confusion for the exact reason of there being an old fuel bowl fitting and then a new one. I guess they made this ring slightly different to be compatible with both of them, because there obviously was no leak or any problem with me installing this onto the fuel filter assembly without having the ribs. The only thing that I could think the reason why they put these ribs on here was to keep it from like rotating when you're putting the ring on, but it's not hard to hold in place. Time will tell, and if for some reason this filter has an issue over time, I'll put a comment and pin it, and I'll put it in the video description showing. But I don't think it's going to be an issue, because I found some old pictures of this exact part number from Wix, and it did look like this. Then they revised it, and the new one is black, and it has the flat ring, and it doesn't seem like it's an issue. Way that it works is it obviously has a little twist off drain at the bottom. Normally what you would do is drain the filter out first, and you're not going to see me do that here, because when I was trying to get this running, I had originally tried to twist and drain this. It didn't do anything, because I think that this filter has been on here so long that the bottom like sump where this drain is actually just filled up with a bunch of crap. Then you have this plastic ring that's right here. It's kind of just tightened on. So I'm hoping that it won't be too stuck on there, and I'll be able to just grab it with gloves. But yeah, actually it's not that bad at all. It even says on here which direction is on and off, like that. And then I've never used a fuel filter like this at all. It's actually dry in there. Okay, just gonna kind of compare it. Looks about the same, except says that you should hear something click on this Wix filter. So, I mean, honestly, that does not seem secure to me. I mean, it's not moving, and it's where the other one was. And it did make like a little click into place. The way to test it now, I suppose, is to just see if it leaks at all. This is a self-priming system. You move it to run. Very similar to the other like military generators. And what it will do is it's got a 24-volt pump. I believe it's actually the same as the tactical quiet generators. You can see it right there. Same cube looking one. All right, so it should be primed and that fuel filter is changed. Let's go ahead and start it. So I'm gonna let it run for a couple minutes to get that engine oil warm, and then we'll go over the oil change. Oil change time. It doesn't have a plug. They put one of like the quick change things, and the way that it works, but it's spring loaded, so you'd push down and think of it like a valve, and now it's open, right? So it should start to drain. I already pulled the dipstick out, so it's got room to breathe. Then over here, this rubber hose is where the oil drains out, and then I added a barb fitting, and it's draining right here into my, I'm doing a terrible job recording here. It's draining right here into the bucket. So we'll give it some time to drain out. All right, let's see if that oil filter is on so tight that I can't just grab it off. Ah, good, it's not. This Wix filter is slightly shorter than the Mitsubishi one. And there was like 6 different part numbers for the Wix filters that were interchangeable. That's probably what it was, is I bet you there was ones that were just a little bit deeper. But I don't plan to run this like a construction site where I'm going to be running it for 24 hours at a time. This little filter would be good. What I'll actually do is down in the description. I'll actually put a link to multiple oil filters, and you can make up your mind which one you want to buy. All right, it took forever to drain all the oil out. I forgot how slow these little quick release drain levers are. They might be quick release, but they're really slow. I actually thought there was something in here obstructing this, and I broke off the clamp. It was one of those single-use ones and blew some air through it, and it was just moving slow. But it is all out. I'm gonna leave the dipstick out, and we gotta go to the other side for filling it up. So for filling it with oil, you use like a big flathead. You open up this little hatch right here, and then you reach in, and your oil fill cap's right here. You need kind of a long, and then you start filling your 3.5 quarts. All right, that's pretty close. It's gonna show a little bit high probably because it hasn't pumped any oil. Yeah, it's slightly high into the oil filter and stuff. So I'll just let it run for a little bit now. So I lied to you. You go to the other side to get at the air filter. I probably shouldn't even need to explain this, but we'll go over it anyway. There are 2 latches. If your machine is older, just be careful that the plastic hasn't gotten deteriorated and you're not just gonna break them. And it's clearly marked on there, which is the top. Your bottom's got the little drain. I'm sure a dealer would have charged you 70 bucks for that. There you go, air filter done. So I'm just gonna let it run under load now that the fuel filter, oil, and air filter was changed. The only thing that this unit doesn't have is the second small light. Ran it under load for like 15 minutes and then let it go through a cool down. It's been sitting for a couple minutes. One thing I noted, there was a little bit of fuel seepage out of this top fuel line, so I'm just gonna replace it. I had not noticed it when I got it. It looks like what had happened is one of the lights gets stored right here, and it looks like the bracket came down and was resting on it, and it ran with it on there, and it kind of like ate through. It's not as wet as it was, but you can clearly see. So that's just the standard piece of rubber fuel line, so it's not a big deal. I'm gonna replace it, but let's see where that oil level's at. I gotta wipe it clean. It's right at where it should be. All right, I replaced the fuel line, got my clamp on down there. And one thing that I like to do with these drains is find a bolt that's pretty tight and kind of like bites in a little bit, so that way it keeps stuff from going up in there. The last thing that I'm gonna do is clean it, and I'm gonna use Super Clean like I always do. Super Clean's always been a good friend, so I'm gonna do a giveaway with them again. 2 weeks after the publish date, I'll pick someone. You just have to go down into the comments and say, I want some Super Clean. And then I'll randomly pick someone at that 2-week mark, and I'll reply to your comment. And then you just need to go to CallMeColt.com and use the contact button on there and reach out to me. And then we'll go back and forth from there, and we'll get your info and get your little care package from Super Clean. I'm gonna get to that cleaning. Thanks for watching the simple video. If you wanna see anything else with this FLS, let me know. Otherwise, hopefully the video is helpful.